Welcome back to Studio F. We're on Fast Times Willie B. We'll be reviewing The Talented Mr. Ripley. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Hit it, Russell.
Welcome back to Fast Times Willie B. I'm Willie B. I've got Adam back with me. Adam, how are we doing?
I'm good. How are you? It's been a little while.
It has been a little while.
Yeah.
So, last video up was the Rotten Tomatoes video.
So fun. Had a
and-
blast doing that.
Yeah, you had a busy May, so we took a little hiatus in June, but
yeah.
we're back here in
Yeah.
July before it finishes to do the 1999 poll winner, and that is The Talented Mr. Ripley.
I was so excited when you reached out to me about this. I think this is a... I don't know if I should give it away right away, but this is a movie that does not get talked about enough.
That's fair.
I 100% really strongly believe that. And it's also a movie I don't think gets watched enough. I bring this movie up all the time to people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember. Isn't it like Matt Damon in that?" And I'm just like, "How dare you?"
Matt Damon, there's a
there is a plethora
whole, I mean,
of A-list actors.
Going into the cast, I mean, obviously Matt Damon, but we
Yeah.
got Jude Law, we've got Gwyneth Paltrow, we've got Kate Blanchett,
yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, incredible. So many actors so young in their career.
Yeah.
Like so early. Like,
I mean, Matt Damon had Good Will Hunting before this.
he was coming off the Oscar win. I think the year that this was made is when Gwyneth won her Oscar for Shakespeare in Love.
Okay. And then she had seven as well.
Sorry, Gwyneth, terrible Oscar win. And Philip Seymour Hoffman was really on the rise. I think he had just done Magnolia.
Okay.
With Paul Thomas Anderson. It was just like these actors were just starting to hit their strides and becoming these big names. And it was like, imagine nowadays getting 5 A-list actors in one movie and asking 3 of the A-list actors to play supporting roles.
That's the Avengers.
Right. Right. That's the Avengers.
No.
But they're all getting
I get what
paid
you're
like
saying,
$100 million.
Yeah.
This was a relatively low budget, kind of indie feeling movie. This movie feels very indie to me. Like very, very indie.
I mean, it kind of like, it feels like, as far as cast goes, it feels like the first time I watched Seven. Like,
yeah.
I knew that we had Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, and I start watching, like, oh, Gwyneth Paltrow's wife. I'm like, oh, Kevin Spacey's the bad guy. Like,
you're just like, wait,
starts-
what?
Yeah.
Like, people just keep kind of coming out of the corners.
Kevin Spacey now.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into it. But...
We're not getting into that. But yeah, it's wild. And like, particularly like Kate Blanchett's character, she's like here and then gone, and then here and then gone. She just kind of comes and goes, and she plays such a supporting role, but you watch her performance, especially in the end.
Yeah.
And it's so nuanced, and there's so many layers to it, and everybody does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it is a film that is absolutely not talked about enough. And when you reached out to me, I was like, 100%, let's go.
For sure. Yeah, I 100% agree. I feel like I was deciding what I wanted to do for 99 before we hop fully into the good. I was deciding what I wanted to put on the poll for 99.
Yeah.
And it was tough because last year I ran a little short, like, 15 movie series where I did 25th anniversary films, 1999 films every week.
Oh, okay.
And so that knocks out movies like I did Fight Club, I did 10 Things I Hate About You,
Yeah.
I did Eyes Wide Shut. Like, so I'm sitting there, I'm like,
Yeah.
what movies from 99 have I not done? Let's start there. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't do The Green Mile. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And then I there was 3 heavy hitters. But then picking the 4th one, I was like, oh, these are all movies that like I haven't heard a whole lot about. And so I was looking, I was like, The Talented Mr. Ripley sounds the most interesting.
Yeah.
So I threw it into the pool. And I thought it had no chance at winning.
Yeah.
I thought it had no chance.
That's wild.
I was like, there's no way it beats The Matrix. There's no way it beats The Green Mile. There's no way, And lo and behold, this was the closest poll I've ever had, by the way.
Oh,
it was
okay.
21 votes in the 72 or the 60-hour time frame I give it. It was 5, 5, 5, 6. Yeah.
That's how tight it was?
Talented Mr. Ripley had that 6th vote.
Dang.
Yeah.
That was probably me.
Yeah.
That was probably...
But yeah, this was, I mean, usually it's 1, maybe 2 are just running away with it.
Yeah.
This one...
That's cool.
It was a dogfight. So.
Yeah. I mean, the late 90s, early 2000s were really kind of a transformative years for film in general. It went through... It was kind of like a revolution of filmmaking where people were just kind of changing their approaches. Technology was really kind of starting to come on the rise. But this film, does a lot of really interesting and different things that you really don't see coming and you don't expect. So that's what I like so much about it.
So we'll start with the good.
Oh, okay.
Acting is definitely the big one. I mean, we kind of already touched on it.
The acting is incredible. I think in particular, Philip Seymour Hoffman as Freddie Miles.
Yeah, I mean Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Just in general,
Usually, even if he's a supporting character, steals the show.
Yeah.
A movie I always think about is Moneyball. He plays the manager.
Yeah.
And obviously Brad Pitt's great, and Jonah Hill's great, but
every scene that Philip Seymour Hoffman is in, though, he steals it.
I'm like, yeah,
every scene. And I think he does that in Talented Mr. Ripley too. Yeah. Like his joy and everything when he's with Dickie is, he loves them and they have this great relationship and all this kind of stuff. And he's the guy that immediately looks at Tom and goes, I don't know. There's something going on there.
Yeah.
There's something I don't like there. And Tom is used to being able to, Tom Ripley, Matt Damon's character, is used to being able to just sway everybody.
Yeah, the charm.
He kind of seduces everybody. No matter who you are, he's a chameleon. He blends in. He whatever he says, you buy. He says things with conviction. He plays the innocent game of just like, oh, I'm just kind of floating through life. And like, I hope everybody likes me. And like, he.
Yeah.
And immediately Freddie's like, nope.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. There's something going on there. And everybody's like, dude, leave him alone. It's just little Tom. Like, he's harmless. And he is anything but harmless.
Yeah, for sure.
But and then the kind of the big scene that happens between Tom and Freddie.
Great scene.
No spoilers.
Oh, there's spoiler alerts. Go full blaze. Yeah.
I think that's such an incredible scene.
Yeah.
And the way it plays out, and one of my favorite Easter eggs in this entire movie is the bust that he kills Freddie with, is based off of this Roman emperor named, I think his name was like Hadrian, something like that, who had a gay male lover that mysteriously disappeared during a boat outing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you just kind of go, thank you, screenwriter. I appreciate that one.
Yeah.
Because it life imitating art.
Yeah.
So,
no, that was thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. That's like my favorite.
I love little things like that.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
And, no, that scene though, really good scene.
Yeah.
Yes, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I agree. He's not in a lot of this movie, but when he's in it, he's fantastic. And that's the same with Blanchett. Not in it a lot, but her few scenes are very impactful.
Incredible. Yeah.
And then Damon Law and Paltrow are definitely our top three.
Yeah.
That we see the most of, and I say it with some actors. With these five, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And you get it. You get it
Yeah.
here. You get award level performances from all five of them, whether they're supporting or they're the lead. It was very well acted. There's never a scene where you're like, oh, I don't know how I felt about that. Was that the best take you could get? Never crossed my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other thing I really love about it is everybody plays their role. Mm-hmm. Nobody's overacting. Nobody's trying to scene steal.
No.
Everybody just does their thing and plays their role, and it's one of those things you're approaching. Five incredible actors who are really hitting their strides and saying like, okay, this is an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
There's a lead, there's, a star, Ripley, it's named after him, Talented Mr. Ripley, right? But it's a true ensemble feeling film. Yeah. And everybody just, it truly feels like everybody just went, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
And just everybody just dove into that.
On Paltrow, my favorite part of her was probably the third act. It gave me Shelley Duvall vibes.
Ooh, like from The Shining. That just kind of like
when she's being backed into the door, and then when she's like kind of hysterical on the boat, and she's saying, "I know you did." Like it gave me
that kind of slow breakdown and everything, and
then
just kind of popped and went off. But that scene where he like backs her into the door, that's a terrifying scene.
Yeah, and you see the blood in the robe.
Yeah, it's terrifying, and it's really interesting to think because I think there's so many levels to this movie. One of the things I'm always left thinking about whenever I return back and watch the film, and I've watched it multiple times, is, it's kind of the Patrick Bateman effect in American Psycho. Who actually thinks that he really did these things versus who doesn't, versus who is maybe a little, the Willem Dafoe lore of he played it like, I know Patrick Bateman did it. He played it like maybe he did it, and he played it like, no, he definitely didn't. Right.
Yeah.
And there are a ton of little moments, like especially at the end, the guy talking to him on the balcony, and for me at least, you just immediately think this guy's about to like blow this up and be like, dude, I know you did this.
Yeah.
I know. And then by the end, he's just like, oh, we're going to keep this quiet and I hope you do too. And
here's all this money.
And that look on his face is like, man, I won.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got to. But I've always wondered, did this guy actually think that he was involved,
yeah.
with the disappearance of Dickie and Freddie?
And then the dad.
Peter. And Peter, 100%. And his dad. When Dickie's dad gets on the boat he shakes his hand, thank you, Tom, gets on the boat. And if you go back and watch, he turns and gives Tom the strangest. It's like literally like a second moment, but he gives Tom the strangest little look, like I want to be done with this and I want to be wrapped up with this. So I know just giving him money and moving on is the best thing to do. But he gives this little look like maybe there is something more there. Yeah. Maybe, but and then he just like let's put it behind us. Like, let's put it behind us. Yeah, Tom didn't. Yeah, Tom didn't do it. Yeah.
Peter, the ending kind of like got me. I was Peter in on it?
And then what I love about the ending too is that they do not explicitly say that Tom and Peter are lovers or a couple, but
you get that.
You watch, you pick up on it, right? And then
when they talk about the kiss, and
and you don't see the murder happen. You just hear it, kind of after it's already done, and watching Damon sit there.
Which I feel like I've heard that voiceover, by the way.
Yes.
Like, I feel like I've heard the audio of that clip.
Yeah. And he's what's so interesting about the character of Tom Ripley. I feel like I could talk forever about the character of Tom. Is that at least for me? I don't know. Maybe this makes me crazy. We'll see. There are aspects of Tom that I like.
Yeah.
There are, he comes from a childhood. He's an orphan and he comes from a rough childhood and an abusive family growing up, and he wants to make it on his own. And, a lot of people I think just kind of pigeonhole him as like, oh, he's a sociopath. He's Hannibal Lecter, a different version, right? He's a smart sociopath. But I actually believe it's a little bit different. I think that Tom actually liked Dickie. I think he actually liked him as a person. Too. And I think he envied his life and he wanted that life and he wanted to be like him. But then when things went south, that's when the psychotic comes out. Yeah. But I think before that, it's he wears his id on his outside is I want what I want and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get what I want, no matter what I have to do, right? Sure. Which is that full-blown crazy. But I don't think he ever looked at Dickie and was like, well, he's just a means to an end. I don't care about that guy. Like, I think he had real love for Dickie. Yeah. And I think he had real love for Peter. Mm-hmm. So when these things happen, and you see him crying and being upset, you're like, oh, he's playing this role. But I always ask people, I'm like, what? He's by himself. Yeah. Why would he be crying? He's by himself. If he didn't care about these people living or dying, why would he be hysterically sobbing when Peter is dying? Yeah. He's alone. He would just kill him and it would be done. Because I think he actually does have love and care for these people, which is why I think he's such an interestingly written character. Yeah. So, yeah.
No, I agree with everything you just said. The only part I'm confused about is because he slips up and says, at the end with Peter, he slips up and he says, Dickie and... Meredith, and he was like, or Peter and Meredith, and so I'm like, Tom and Meredith, and he's like, so does Peter know, or does Peter not know? Yeah, because they kind of like just brushed past him accidentally.
Yeah, it's the whole thing of, does Peter know, or is Peter like just knowingly blind? Okay, my whole thing is, Peter enjoys this lifestyle too, right? Yeah, Peter he's going to enjoy the money and the trips and this extravagant life that Tom has promised him, right? Mm-hmm. So is Peter overlooking things? Because when Tom gets back to the cabin at the end, Peter is insanely jealous. And who was that woman? And you were doing this, and I saw you kiss her, and he's very upset. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as Tom starts sweet talking him, Peter's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And he's fine with it. Right, so I've always wondered the same thing. Yeah. How much does Peter know? Yeah.
Did Peter know the whole time?
Yeah. Did Peter know the whole time? Did he find out at the end and he's horrified? And then Tom goes, "But look at all of this money I have, and we can have an amazing life together." And Peter goes, "Okay, that sounds good." So it's that whole thing of every single character is in the film in some way, shape, and form for their own self-interest.
What if Peter's behind the whole thing?
I know, right?
What if Peter's like when he's going up to Mars and he's like, oh, it's okay, it's not him. In the background, he's like, he's talking to the dad. He's like, you should just pay him off. What
if Peter's like pulling the strings in the background?
The puppet master of the entire movie.
Yeah. If you guys have seen it, you should comment. Do you think it's Peter or it's Tom?
Is Peter really the talented Mister?
Yeah, the talented Mr. Peter.
Yeah.
Are you Team Peter or are you Team Tom?
Yeah.
Who's
the ringleader?
Yeah, who's the real leader, right? And I think that's what's beautiful about Damon's performance. Is that there's so many, he does a lot of talking in the film and he talks his way out of things, but he has a lot of really quiet moments too, where he observes and he just watches and he envies and he emulates and he does all of these things. And what I think is so interesting is there are moments in the movie where I'm like, oh, I like Tom.
Yeah.
I feel for Tom. I like Tom. Like, I hope he turns out okay. And then he commits a murder or does a terrible thing. And that's so bad. And then 10 minutes later, he does something. You're like, oh, I like Tom. And it's that's what makes him such a well-written. Yes, he's incredibly charming. Yep. Except to Freddie.
Yeah.
Who's like, nah.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
But yeah, I think it's a criminally underrated film. And I would be curious to get your thoughts on this. I personally believe if this film, with how, so big budget films make all the money, but indie films win all the awards. I think if this film was made today, it would clean up at the Oscars. I don't think it would make a ton of money. I think it would maybe make $80 to $100 million. But I think it would clean up at the Oscars. Because of the performances, because of the writing, the directing.
I guess it depends on the year too. I mean, there's definitely years where I'm like, this would be, up there. Last year I really did enjoy Anora. I really did enjoy the Bike Riders, movies like that. So I enjoyed those movies more than this one. But there's also years where I'm like, this could be up there for sure.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
Because there was those down years of Oscars, which I'm not hating on anybody but Green Book.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes, such a down year for movies. Where I feel like if
you didn't have to agree with me, by the way. I know I'm in the vast minority that.
No, I actually do agree with you. Okay. I would hope you know by now. If I didn't agree with you, I'd be like, you better back up on out of here. But no, I think the Green Book. If Talented Mr. Ripley comes out that year, I think it wins Best Picture. I think it wins Best Director, Best Actor.
What year was that?
Green Book. That was 5 or 6 years ago. Something like that. Okay. 2000, 2001, something like that. Because the Oscars have done insane things, i.e. the King's Speech winning over The Social Network. What are we doing here, people?
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, I look at the camera like it's your fault.
Yeah. Brennan would also agree with you on that, too.
Yeah?
Brennan's a big Social Network guy.
Social Network is one of the greatest movies ever made. Something I wanted to talk to you about, I don't know, maybe I could do a whole episode on this, but New York Times just released their 100 greatest movies made since 2000.
I was following along with that, yeah.
I went through the entire list, and I have strong thoughts on the list.
It's not great.
And then putting Social Network as number 10, I was like, how dare you?
I mean, at least it's recognized. There's movies that aren't even on the list, I'm like.
Yeah, where it's insanity. And then there's movies that are number 90, and then the movie that's number 60 is exponentially worse. And I'm like, what are we doing here? No, so the list was really all over the place. But I actually had no problem with their number one. I don't know. That's maybe a conversation for later. But but I think that this is one of the kind of movies that is most overlooked.
And it came out in such a stacked year too, though. That's also the tough. I mean, 99. We already mentioned Fight Club, Green Mile, 10 Things I Hate About You wasn't big in award season, but a great movie. The Matrix, some groundbreaking films too. I mean, you know what I mean? So 99 was just a great year, and a lot of the 90s years. When I'm making these polls throughout the 90s, this is the last 90s movie. I'm struggling to pick 4.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Late 90s was so strong for movies. Late 90s and early 2000s. Everything kind of changed about the industry and what was kind of coming out and being produced and made. So
in the 70s and 80s, I had a good vibe at what would probably win the poll. And in the 90s, I don't think I predicted it correctly.
It's all right. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at lists of movies and you're like, all right, let me come up with, 10 movies. And then you look at the list and you're like, damn, all 10 of these are really good movies. There's no down movies. And, personal taste and opinion, but there's no down movies or anything like that. Yeah. So, I love that about it.
Continue with the good.
Yeah.
I love the Italian setting.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that also goes into beautiful cinematography.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's a stunning looking film. Yeah. And, just seeing the buildings and the water and the cobble streets and and they do I know about the film. I don't know all the particulars, but I know they cite real things because the movie I think takes place in the 50s.
Okay.
And a lot of the things they cite, the tailor shops and the restaurants, those are all real restaurants on those streets.
Okay, that's awesome.
And real tailor shops on those streets. So they really deep dive into like the history of that time and era. The costume design is beautiful.
Yeah.
I think, you know, when you have a period piece like that, it's like, okay, well, everybody's got to look. And, you know, you have scenes on the beach where there's tons of extras, you know, and just the period piece. You know, this is a film that is made to be made on film.
Yeah.
So the way it looks, you know, that film look is perfect for this film.
You get Philip Seymour Hoffman on Corduroy in Italy.
I know, right? Yeah. And the car he drives up, like his appearance in the movie just driving up to where they're eating is so good. I love it.
Rest in peace to a true king.
I know
like my buddy Keenan's a huge Philip Seymour Hoffman fan,
too,
and the more movies I watch in his filmography, the more I'm like, this guy's onto something.
I could do a whole episode of Philip Seymour Hoffman performances, all the way back to like early stuff like Heart 8 with Paul Thomas Anderson, like his first movie.
A lot of good PTA movies.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Have you seen Licorice Pizza?
Yes.
He's his son. Yes. I thought that was cool too.
Yeah. His son. Yeah. Which was such a beautiful tribute. Licorice Pizza was great. Another one of those, like, it feels like that, like, just kind of a movie that's made. There are certain movies where, you know, you'll see a big budget film and you're like, this feels like it should be an indie film.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Like an indie film, you're like, man, if this had financial supporting.
Yeah.
And then some films just really hit the nail on the head. And I really can't say enough that I think, like, Talented Mr. Ripley hits the nail on the head.
Yeah.
The look of it is what it should be. The actors filling out these characters is what it should. I mean, you could very easily have gotten a character actor to play Freddy and a character actor to play, you know, Cate Blanchett's role and Gwyneth Paltrow's role. Like, you could have just done that and it would have been fine. But for them to get this many names to play this many characters is really like an achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah, real achievement.
Trying to think. Anything else in the good?
I mean, those are the biggest things for me.
Just the story in general. It's an interesting. It's
based
on. It makes you think.
Yeah, it's a whole book series. I think there's like 5 books.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like 5 books in the series, and it's all Ripley.
Yeah,
like it starts.
Ripley's, believe it or not,
no. Right, same thing. But this is the first like in the series, and then it goes all the way through him being like an older guy.
Okay.
Yeah, and just kind of chronicles his life, and other things have done it. Like Andrew Scott played, you know, Ripley, and then John Malkovich has played him.
Okay.
In like a later 2000s movie, I think it was like Ripley's Game or something like that, which was one of the books. I think it was like the second book. Ripley like older in his life, but yeah, I mean, I think those are the biggest things that we touched on. The setting is gorgeous. You know, the acting is really top notch, and I love the way it's shot. Shots to me either feel very wide or they feel very, very tight shots.
Yeah.
And very personal. You know,
the personal shots are probably some of my favorites. The one where he's in the bathroom looking for something.
Yeah.
The mirror scene we get at the end.
That is, I'm really glad you said that, because when we were getting ready to do this and I was kind of looking over my notes of things I want to talk about, one of the things I wrote was one of my favorite closing shots of a movie. The way, you know, they're on the boat and that it starts with a mirror on one side and then that kind of closes, then it goes with the mirror on the other side. And that kind of swings, and then they both kind of close together, and his face is just right there. And Matt Damon doesn't move. No, he does not move for like a minute.
No, it's a great closing shot.
And you hear the doors kind of creaking and the water swaying back and forth. You know, and I love his little speech at the end right before he kills Peter.
Yeah,
is that great? You know, is it better to be a fake somebody than a real nobody? And talking about, I'm going to live in the basement the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that was an interesting moment, right? Because once again, you talk about like a true sociopath, right? Oh, they don't regret killing and everything like that. And I got some like regret there.
Yeah.
Of like, did I have to kill Dickie? Did I have to kill Freddy? Or did I just do it in a fit of rage, you know, or whatever? And like, when he says like, basically, I'm doomed to live in this basement, you know, for the rest of my life. It's like every time he thinks he's going to come up, something pulls him down. And I think, at least for me, I think in that moment he realizes he is the thing that keeps pulling himself down.
Yeah.
And when you realize that, if you embrace it, it's like, all right, this is my life. And then, you know, a minute later, he's killed Peter.
I think the easy thing is just go back to America and make a life with the new money there.
Yeah, that would be the easy thing,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be the Tom Ripley thing.
That's fair.
It's that whole thing of he keeps being trapped, but he's trapped by himself.
Yeah.
And that's what's so interesting.
Another great close shot is when he's washing his hands to get the ring off.
I know. It's so good. Yeah, there's the film feels very, very wide at times, very widely shot, which is great. And then there's these really, really tight personal shots that feel very kind of constricting for the audience and very kind of you feel like the panic and the paranoia and all that kind of stuff. And like even when he's on the balcony at the end and the guy's basically telling him, oh, you're going to get this money and it's all going to go away and everything. It's a really long shot just held on Matt Damon's face. And he's not even doing anything. He's just staring at the guy.
Yeah.
He's not smiling or laughing or anything. Yeah. He's just looking kind of just deadpan. And it's just a beautiful shot. Yeah.
One more thing I have in the good that I can't forget to mention. I loved the score.
Yeah, the music is great.
I think the music's really good. It's definitely got like thriller vibe to it. Not like Thriller Michael Jackson, but like movie Thriller. Like it's got like that like eerie sound to it that makes you realize like, shit's hitting the fan.
Yeah.
But it also has like almost like an Italian feel to it. Like it's I loved it.
Yeah,
I think it fit really well.
There's a lot of moments where the score precedes the action, which is interesting. That's what we kind of expect is right before an action happens. It's like you hear the music kind of ramp up.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of, I think an important thing about music and score and all of that is when it's used.
Yeah.
Not just that it's used or that it's great, because you can put amazing songs in anything. It doesn't mean it's going to hit,
Yeah.
But there's so many moments in the film that are silent, completely quiet. And it's typically after he's done something horrific.
Yeah.
And then he's just kind of sitting there with what he's just done. And it's like there's no music playing and there's nothing. And it's just silence.
Yeah.
And you're just there with him. And then music starts to fade into the next scene. And it just, it feels really good. Yeah, it works. Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I don't think.
Okay.
Anything you guys have?
Yeah. We'll hop over to the meh.
Okay.
I'll start by saying I don't have anything in the bad, so this is where I have anything that I think is...
Yeah, for sure. I don't have anything in the bad either.
My big meh, though, is pacing.
Yeah.
I think...
That's most people. I think that's what kept this off of most people's...
Yeah. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it feels long. Yeah. It feels long.
I always
think
ask
it's because the first half... I think it's while Dickie is alive.
Yeah.
The movie kind of drags. Once we get the boat scene, I think the pacing is great.
Yeah.
I think when we're getting Tom Ripley trying to cover everything up, I think all of that is paced really well.
Yeah.
I think it feels like a year to get there.
Yeah. I always ask people that, so I'm curious of your thoughts. So it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. How long did it feel to you?
2.5, 2:40.
Yeah. That's so whenever...
I think once the kill happens, I think there's like an hour and 4 left.
Yeah.
That was fine. But the first hour and 11 felt like almost 2 hours.
Yeah, it's interesting because I definitely understand why that's kind of people's biggest gripes of the film, is because the first half of the film is very kind of slow and very paced, and we're building towards something, and it's one of the things of once it's go time, it is go time. And once he takes that first step, right, then he's just running. It's like he's walking and then running, and there's not really like a build up. He doesn't go from walking to jogging to running. He goes from walking to sprinting. Right. So I definitely get that, but for me, I'm such a fan of that. I love the build. I am such... And I know you can love it in different ways, because I know how big of a Halloween fan you are.
Yeah.
As am I. And that film is all build, right? Until you get to the last, 20-ish minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's just chaos, right? But before that, it's just building and building, and that something crazy is going to happen, right? But I totally get what you mean, because... And I think what the film was trying to do was really kind of bring you into this world and this setting and these characters, and setting up that these are just normal people, and they're trying to live these extravagant lives, but they're just people, just kind of doing their thing, and then it just goes completely insane. But I'm a fan of that, but I can understand the criticism of it. Yeah. But for me, I don't think the movie works if you go the other way. If he makes a kill in the first 10 minutes of the movie, I don't think it works.
No, I agree with that. I'm saying more so I think maybe we could have cut out some of the fluff. Not oh, I wish he would have killed Dickie 15 minutes in the movie.
Yeah.
More so like they're building, and I get it, they're building the relationship between Tom, Dickie, and Marge.
Yeah.
But there's just times where I'm like, okay,
they could have sliced a minute off of this scene, 2 minutes off of this scene, and you could have dropped it down to a 2-hour flat or like an hour 50 kind of film,
and it didn't kill the movie. For me. That's why I'm putting it in the meh. But it definitely it's a slow burn to get to the climax.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. For me, one of my mess is I actually could have used a little bit more backstory on characters.
Okay.
I love mystery, but I could have done a whole movie of Freddie and Dickie and their relationship to
That's
each
fair.
other.
When they were together on screen, it was fun.
Yeah, it's so fun, and I wanted to know more about them. Yeah.
The big thing for me was when I got to the kill on the boat, I was like, man, I feel like this just happened. There's 20 minutes left in the movie, and I checked the timestamp. I'm like, we're only an hour in.
Yeah,
I'm like.
That scene on the boat, that was so good.
Oh, it is. It's a great scene. And I said, once that scene happens, the rest of the movie, very well paced. Every scene is...
Yeah. I think Jude Law, broke a rib or two or something.
Really?
During the kill scene. Yeah, I think he, in real life got really hurt doing it. But yeah, and I think the kill scene is so good. It's such a great build. And you're just I know something really bad's going to happen. What's going to happen? But yeah, no, I can understand, that kind of critique of that. And my biggest thing is, there's all these little relationships that I want more of that obviously we can't, but the biggest one is Dickie and Freddie. I could do a whole 2 hours of these guys, and just the relationship, or just a movie about Freddie. I could do a whole movie about him.
Do a prequel series with Cooper Hoffman. And...
Oh my God. I'm in. So yeah, I think maybe just a little of that, because there's a lot of characters that come and go.
Yeah.
And they have deep rooted relationships with other characters who we see a lot. And I was just kind of well, I want to know more about this relationship. How deeply rooted is this relationship, and why does this character care so much about X, Y, and Z? And so I think I could have done with more kind of...
That's fair.
More digging into the background. Yeah.
Another man I have, and maybe you notice something, or something that I missed. Sending Tom Ripley when you don't know for sure that he went to Princeton with your son is kind of bonkers to me.
Yeah, I totally. But I think the entire situation is bonkers. The age-old thing of desperate people do desperate things.
That's true.
And I think his dad is so desperate. But it's such an impersonal thing, right?
Yeah.
It's Dad, go do it yourself.
Yeah.
Go get your kid, and your son, entice him with X, Y, and Z, or do this thing or do that. No, I'm going to send this complete stranger who I can't verify anything about. I'm going to go give him a giant wad of money and have him do it.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, and you saying this was in the 50s makes me think, holy crap, $1,000 is a lot more than...
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's $10,000 or...
Yeah, I'm watching this it's the 90s. I'm like, $1,000 is cool.
I think it's 1959.
Okay, that makes sense.
It takes place in something
so I was
that.
I don't know if that would have made me go to Europe to pull it. $1,000 isn't...
it was a lot of... Especially with him, growing up as basically an orphan, he's a con artist. $1,000 is in 1959, it's more money than he's probably ever seen in his life. He does a con for $3, so $1,000 is insane. But I totally agree. To me, that was the identifying marker which was what makes the ending make so much sense, is this is a shitty dad.
Yeah.
Right? And then so at the very end, all right, well, my son's gone, but what's his biggest thing is I don't want to cause any more embarrassment to I don't want to cause Dickie any more embarrassment since he's dead. It's the family. You don't want to cause your name of your business. You don't want a scandal. You don't want a police investigation, right?
Did they ever find Dickie?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah. You don't want any of that.
Yeah.
You don't want a police investigation. You don't want anything, right?
Yeah.
So what do? You pay off the prime suspect to walk away. Shitty dad 101, right? It's... And like I said, there's that little moment at the end where he looks at Tom and he gives him this look you might have had something to do with this.
Yeah.
But he makes his decision, and what happens when Marge gets upset? No, it wasn't Tom.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, when you have a good filmmaker, nothing is an accident. And this is a really good film that's written well and directed well, so nothing is an accident.
Yeah.
So when he specifically says it wasn't Tom, to me that felt like very like he's convincing the world. He's telling the world it wasn't Tom.
Yeah.
And I have always thought like I don't know if he fully buys that.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, the whole thing early about just sending a guy.
I'm like
to like, oh, he's my son's age. My son will like him.
Yeah.
I'll send this guy
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah, it just doesn't really make any sense at all. Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think I really have anything.
Yeah, no, I don't either. This is definitely a film that, like I said in the very beginning, I think it was overlooked. I think it's underappreciated. When I was in college, I had a film class. This was one of the films we watched.
Yeah.
And I remember like half the class was like, it was all right. And I was like, how dare all of you?
Yeah.
I was like mad at people. But yeah, a lot of people were just like, it was fine. It was okay. And I'm just like, do you even know what you just watched?
Yeah.
Like these are just incredible performers.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We can hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with it? And what do you give it out of 10?
So I would say out of a 10, I give it a solid like 8.5.
8.5? Okay.
Yeah, and a solid 8.5 out of 10. My kind of just quick summation is beautiful setting. The film looks great cinematography, really fun story. But what really makes this film work the way it does is 5 incredible actors who buy into an ensemble mentality.
Yeah.
And I think that's what just is the home run for this film.
For sure. For me, I'm gonna go solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
I think it was in that great category.
Yeah,
I agree. Sure. I mean, on Letterboxd alone, you were the only person that had seen this movie.
What is it on? How well is it doing on Letterboxd?
I think it's got like a high 3, so that would be like an upper 7.
Yeah.
But
7.5, something like that.
Lower, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like a 3.7 or a 3.8, so look like 7.5, 7.6.
Yeah.
I was surprised because I was like, I was reading the synopsis, I'm like, this movie sounds interesting. And then the cast.
Great story, and like one of the most stacked casts of like that era.
And so I was like, so when you say like it's underappreciated, under talked about, underwatched, I'm like, well, I can get that because just looking at the context of the film before even watching, I'm like, this feels like a movie that should be watched by more people.
Yeah.
But
this feels like a movie that should have just cleaned up at the Oscars. I think it was nominated for like 4 or 5 Oscars. Okay. I don't think it won anything.
No.
But Jude Law was nominated, and I think it was nominated for like Best Writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 99. It just Eyes Wide Shut was also in that year. Just so many good movies.
Wild year. Wild time for movies. Yeah.
But that'll do it for the talented Miss Ripley. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. All is appreciated. And we'll talk to y'all soon.
See you guys.